Alright guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over this great success story that was sent over from a subscriber. This is from a guy, he's over in India, and he's going to share his story about events that happened about a year and a half ago with his former girlfriend. At the time of the story, when it began, he'd been with this girl for like 3.5 years, and he was just kind of starting off in the world, not a very big important job at the time. And at the time, you're going to see that he was making this girl the center of his universe. And as you all know, when guys do that and they make their girl the center of their universe, put them on the pedestal, it doesn't take very long before the girl eventually gets turned off and breaks up with the guy. And you're going to see here, in the short term, that's what happens. And as you can imagine, the guy's obviously hurt and confused and all that. So he embarks on a journey to get things turned around. And ultimately, you're going to see he gets some fantastic advice about the type of stuff I talk about in this channel, about purpose and all that, and in regards to women, from a very, very unlikely source. And that is one of the big surprises of the story, which I'm not going to reveal in the beginning. Wait until you see who gives him this great life-altering advice. And you're going to see this guy takes the advice and follows through on that, and now is doing great. And take a wild guess who's now after him after all this year and a half or so, when this guy is focused on his purpose and is doing great. Big surprise. Great comeback story, great success story, and a lot of lessons here. And I'm going to get more into that as I go through the story. So it starts off, he says, hi there, my name is, I cannot pronounce this name to save my life, so I'll just call you H. My name is H, and I'm from India. I had a girlfriend that I was in a relationship with for nearly about 3 years ago, 3.5 years. And a year and a half back, she dumped me for a guy who was a total a-hole. Now, I don't know why she left me, but I think I was too nice and caring for her. I texted her every day, called her, and talked to her, and helped her whenever she had a trouble. I even used to ask her why she didn't tell me she had some problems when I found out something was wrong and she didn't tell it to me. So, as this channel is all about using stories as teaching tools, where's the problem here? He said, I think I was too nice to her. And he was right. He said here, I was texting her every day, called her every day, talked to her every day, and helped her whenever she had trouble. Guys, a man should be focused at that age all the time on his purpose and ambitions and goals, and making, especially when you're young and starting off in the world. So when a guy is spending every day texting his girl, calling his girl, making her the center of his universe, being there at the drop of a hat whenever she needs him, does that tell her, is that a guy on his grind? Is that a guy on his purpose? No, that's a guy making her his purpose. That's not attracted to women. That's a guy who she knows she's got. There's no uncertainty there. It's certainty. She's certain that this guy isn't going anywhere. And who do they always chase after? The guys that are unpredictable, the guys they don't know where they stand with, the bad boys, the type of guy she broke up with him. So this is why I encourage you guys that are do relationships and all, you need to make your purpose, your goals, your ambitions, your grind, that's number one. Then after that, your health and your fitness, then your friends. The girls at the bottom of the list. And notice that guys that do that, the women chase after. But the guys that make her the top of the list, they get bored with and dump. Right here, perfect example. And I'm not saying this to be cruel. I'm saying this because this guy knows this, because he said right here, I think I was being too nice. You were. This guy was being the typical nice guy. All right? You should be so busy that she is wondering where she stands with you. Because here's the deal. If you're busy on your purpose, on your grind, improving yourself, enjoying your hobbies without her, hanging out with your bros, she's going to be wondering where you are, what you're doing, who you're hanging out with. Do you still even like her? So she'll be texting you and calling you, trying to get your attention, chasing after you, instead of the guy chasing after her. When the guy's doing all the chasing, it turns him off. But when she's doing all the chasing, she's turned on. See what I mean? I know I went a long way here about this, guys, but again, this channel isn't just about stories and entertainment. It's also about teaching, using real-life examples. That's where he went wrong. Okay, on with the story. Anyway, yeah, she dumped him for a guy who's 5'11" tall, and he says, I'm 5'6". And he said he's rich. His dad is rich, by the way. And she joked with her girlfriends that I was broke and desperate and poor. Yes, I was poor, and no, I was not broke until she left me. Notice that he said that they said desperate. Your behavior of texting her every day and calling her every day and doing this and this, in her perception was that you were desperate. You may not have been desperate, you just may have really liked her. But in their view, because everything's about perception, the perception was you were desperate. Women don't like guys that are desperate. They like guys that are confident. Okay? So by texting her all the time and being basically up her butt and trying to be joined at the hip is, in their interpretation, desperate. That's why you want them chasing after you. Then they don't see you as desperate. Right there. And as for the poor thing, you're just starting off in life. Not your fault. You're doing the best you can. But you know what? You could have been doing a hell of a lot more. But you made her it sound like your purpose instead of going somewhere in the world. Anyway, although I had a degree, I had only a menial job at the time as a delivery guy in Bangalore. Basically because I thought, now that I have a partner, I can slowly upgrade my job and status in time and didn't pay much attention to myself. I don't know why I was that stupid. I just felt that getting a good job was not a big deal when I had a partner, probably. So he felt safe. He figured, oh, she'll love me for who I am. I don't need to be on my grind. I don't need to be on my purpose. I don't need to shoot for the stars because I got this girl and she's there forever. Bullshit. They want somebody that's doing better. And that's why she went with a rich guy. And also, you were being Mr. Nice Guy. You made her your purpose. You settled. Now watch what happens, guys, when he gets on his grind and how much better his life is and the enjoyment he has, what happens with her next. So I took a break. I went to see my grandmother in Kerala, a southern Indian state. I stayed with my grandma for 2 weeks, watered her crops in the field, went to temples with her, and recited Hindu holy scriptures. Although I'm not religious, I'm kind of a cultural Hindu. I told her all these things, and she told me. Now listen to this, from Grandma, of all people. Grandma says, Hari, or H. Many women think by their instincts and not their brains. So when they come across someone that can give them a new experience, they go for that. But women that think with their brains sees you as a human being and judge you by your capacities. New experiences, new things, new guy. She says, the grandma says, focus on yourself. Establish your career, pick up a hobby, and love yourself first. Translation, you're number one, not her. You. Be on your grind. You're the number one thing in your life. Nice guys don't focus on themselves. They focus on her. Nice guys put the girl on the pedestal. Nice guys don't focus on the grind. They figure like everything's great. She'll love me no matter what. Bullshit. Grandma is telling you the stuff that I tell you. A woman. This is the first time I ever heard a woman ever say these types of things. Ever. Are you sure this was your grandma? You didn't say grandpa? Grandma goes on. She says, prove to her that you do better without her. When she realized that after rejecting you, you're not affected by her leaving you, and you're moving much better than what she can ever achieve, she will regret her decisions. And just like how her mind flickered when she left you, she will come back to you. Translation, you walk away. You move on. You don't give a shit. Your life's going on just fine. In fact, you're doing better without her. And that's going to make her think, what happened? Why isn't he devastated? I thought he wasn't very much of a big deal. Now all of a sudden, wow, look what he's accomplishing without me. He rejected me in a sense. Now I got to be attracted to him. Grandma gets it. She says, do not beg for her attention, because if you do so, you lose your value and respect. Correct. You never beg for people. You never try to get their attention and validation. Women are always trying to get the attention and validation in guys. Guys that go around trying to get attention and validation from women is a big turnoff to them, because that screams insecurity. Being independent is what defines manhood, not his size, shape, or anything beyond his control. Besides, if you give her attention again, she treats you like a secondary option and will most probably do the same thing which she did to you before. Translation, don't keep doing the same thing that got you in this trouble to begin with. And by the way, Grandma's not saying going back to her. She's giving a hypothetical situation of how it'll go. Yes, being independent, being your own man who marches to the beat of his own drum, is a master of his destiny, makes things happen for himself. His grind, his purpose, all that. That is an attractive quality to women. It says here, so don't show her that you need her, because you don't need someone with lower intellectual capabilities and a flickering mind. I know you very well, and you deserve better. You're damn right you know you deserve better. And by the way, when men show women that they need them, That shows women, oh, I have certainty with this guy. This guy isn't going anywhere. Therefore, I can start pulling bullshit. Because usually when women start to sense the guy isn't going anywhere, no matter what she does, he's staying around, she loses respect. Guys that get the best behavior out of their women, girlfriends, fiancés, even wives, if they're that good in terms of how they handle her, are the ones that they know, the women know, without a shadow of a doubt. If I cross this guy, if I push him too far in terms of disrespect or any number of things, this guy's walking. That even if he gets hit hard in the divorce and loses half his shit, he's still walking. And I'm going to look like a fool. And he'll start over and be doing even better without me. Those guys get the royalty treatment in varying degrees. They'll continue to get the SCX in the marriage. She'll continue to keep herself thin and looking good and sexy and treating him good and loyal and all that. This is why she must know that you walk if you piss her off, if she pisses you off or goes too far, because she'll have respect for you. Woman doesn't respect you, she sure ain't gonna love you. That is why you can't let her think or even have the perception that you need her. I know this will be shocking to a lot of people. I know that people may watch this or stumble upon this channel and disagree with this video, thinking, how could he say such a thing, or that's awful. I keep it real here. I'm 44 years old. I've had plenty of relationships. I've lived a lot. I've experienced a lot, not to mention all the stories I've heard and the patterns. It is what it is. Human nature, human beings are effed up, but it is what it is. Grandma goes on, she says, then when she regrets her decision, she'll return back to you. Ignore her. Don't be rude, but ignore her. Let her know that you don't need her anymore. And finally, tell her straight that you don't want her. That will be your game. Harry, now go take a bath and let's go to the temple. Damn, your grandma is awesome. High five to grandma. Right there. Grandma knows if you do these things, focus on your purpose, make you, number one, the most important thing, love yourself, she'll be back. And then when she comes back, ditch her. Kick her ass to her, don't give her the time of day. It'll make her crazy. Grandma knows. She knows female nature, and she knows what female are attracted to. This is the first case that I got someone, a grandma, a woman, that actually gets this. It's amazing. And I might add, guys, this is on the other side of the world from here in the US of A, which goes to show you human nature is the same all around the planet. So people will say, oh, it's different with my culture, SSM, or it's different with my country, SSM. No, it's not. Men respond to what we respond to here in the West or the East or wherever. And women respond to what they respond to. Right here. Dead on proof. So, he says, that's my granny's good old school wisdom. You're darn right. After I returned back to Bangalore, I applied for a job at a tech park, got through the interviews, and got a job. Oh, did I forget to mention that I have an aerospace graduate and bachelor's? I got 2 papers published, one IEEE and the other in NASA's ADS database. Now I'm doing research in aeronautical engineering in Sweden, and I have other plans in my head with my master's degree after I complete it. Meanwhile, I do jiu-jitsu as a hobby. I go for solo travels. I love my life. Awesome. That's great, bro. You love your life. And notice he hasn't mentioned anything about women in his life. He's loving his life, being successful, shooting for the stars. He's now working in Sweden, and all the different things he's accomplished. He now does jiu-jitsu on the side, which is awesome. Traveling, enjoying his life. And guess what? Guess what happens next? A week back, when I visited my country, she texted me, saying that she wants to talk to me. I ignored it. Then she called me. I cut the call and blocked her on WhatsApp. She tried to connect back to me again from my other friend's number, and I didn't respond. My friends told her how I moved on and how I improved on my own after she left. They told me that although she remained silent, she couldn't bear the fact that I became a much better person, and she was clearly uneasy when she realized what happened with me was way beyond her expectations. He says, now my grandmother doesn't know what WhatsApp is, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or TikTok, but she is a wise old woman, a guardian angel that takes care of her grandson. The end. Like I told you guys, doesn't make a difference where you are. Human nature is human nature. Look at that. Grandma, of all people. I had a cool grandma, but not that cool with that regard. My grandma gave me one piece of wisdom when I was about 8 or 9 years old about women. Very simple, very sweet. She said, grandson, because I'm not going to reveal my real name here, grandson, women are trouble. That's it. All girls are trouble. All women are trouble. That's what she said. That was her wisdom to me. And you think I listened to her? No. It took me a long time to learn that. She also told me probably around the same time period, she said, you're a fine young man, but you got a big mouth. Which I did. And honestly, in a way, I still do here on this channel. But anyhow, shout out to that grandma. I've never heard any woman ever have that kind of wisdom and knowledge to impart on a guy before. Amazing. Other side of the world. So good job to this guy. We can all give him a shout out for his success. And I'm glad you ignored her and listened to your grandmother. Keep focusing on your purpose, bro. Life is what you make it. There's going to be some roadblocks, some hurdles, all that. That's going to happen to all of us. But it's how we handle that makes us the men we are. Life is too short to just sit on your ass and just settle, okay? Especially for ambitious guys. Look how much happier he is in his life. He's traveling, he's doing well, obviously making way more money, having a great life that a lot of people wouldn't have. And of course, it got her attention. And now she wants to be back because now the other guy's probably boring. And she can't believe the change in this guy, right? There you go. So again, you can't make the girl your purpose. You can't make the girl the center of your universe. You can't be chasing after her and doing all the things he was doing in the beginning. Texting her every day, calling her every day, talking to her every day, being there on a whim to solve her problems and all that stuff. During that time period, he should have been focusing on his purpose. And if he had been doing what he's doing now back then, he wouldn't have lost her at all. However, it's good it happened that way because that was got him going. All right. And so in the future, he just has to be aware of this with any future women because guarantee doing as he's doing right now, he's going to attract other women. Guaranteed. Just be careful, my friend. But good for you. I'm proud of you. And I think just keep doing what you're doing and you're going to be great. And this is just a good lesson to all you guys out there about this type of thing, particularly you relationship guys. Focus on your purpose. Do not make the girl your purpose. Otherwise, she'll get bored and find and dump you for some guy that is making himself and his goals the purpose. And sometimes it takes something like that to get hurt and be dumped to make people realize these things. And thank God for this guy's grandma. All right, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me just think about this. And guys, if you got a great story you'd like to share with me, something you want me to cover on this channel, by all means, email it to me, strongsuccessfulmale@gmail.com. Just make sure it's well written. Make sure it's easy for me to read. And this also includes any stories you may find online related to what I talk about, good articles from around the world, all those types of things. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.